like I was talking about with Hogan, he was a babyface for a dozen years, and then he started to notice the booze a bit and things like that, and then that was a good
Those
way
were coming for
to,
a while, though. Those were
yeah,
coming, those were coming for a while. So, like, by the time they pulled the trigger on it in '96, I think it had already been building since like
it was building.
'93.
Yeah, it was building in the WCW because it was the same old Hogan. But
Yep.
I think that they still did a good job as far as turning the switch not too late. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because with
Yeah.
Hogan, he was a babyface for a dozen years, and you would have never imagined, Hogan being the third guy. To me, that's still the greatest heel turn in pro wrestling history, man. You just would have never imagined Hogan being the third guy, and that actually built more equity in Hogan after '96 when he did the turn. It actually like restored his character after a dozen years, of being a wrestler, and that added more years and added more equity as a heel. He ended up being a heel for about 3 years, and then that Nitro episode when he came back to the red and yellow, he actually got cheers at that point when Hogan's, Savani was there on that Nitro. Hulk Hogan is back, like that Nitro episode. And I remember watching it, I popped because it was good the whole NWO, and he did it so well too. The heel Hogan, Hollywood Hogan, was so good that when he went back to the red and yellow, it actually added even more years because he went back to something that we loved, knew and loved. So yeah, I agree.
And it was the same thing even in WWF when culminated in WWF, because then after that he goes on and has that match with The Rock, where it's welcome home Hogan. You know what I mean? After all those years, it's like he's coming back to the WWE, WWF, and they gave him that reception. And then, well, it was shortly thereafter you got the red and yellow Hulk back again too. So, but you said the greatest heel turn in wrestling, and that's where I was kind of stuck. I was trying to think. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you. I think it was the most impactful heel turn in history. I was trying to think of some other heel turns off the top of my head, or
I would say second would be. I would say to me, second is Michaels and Jannetty.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
You know what? That is good too. Where would you put the Brett Steve Austin double turn? Just because, okay, now we're not just talking about heel turns now. I think we're just talking turns, so whether it's face or heel. Although heel turns are usually much better, I think.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, I prefer face turns, but just as far as impactful, heel turns are better. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, totally. But dude, that's a good call because I remember that barber shop, man. Like as a kid, when you see you don't see guys get thrown through windows, and then you saw the blood, and it was just kind of like, wow, that was messed up. But
I was devastated because I remember they were teasing it, and I loved the booking back then. They would do the tease, and they would kind of patch it up a little bit, and then after that, it was he came out in some type of boy toy type of garb. It was kind of a different look for Michaels, and people were just wondering like, well, what's this guy, and then I never forget it. It was, what was that, 92? He raised his hand, or it was 91 or 92, raised his hand, and
I think it was the end of 91. It was like December 91.
I think it was taped in like January of 92. I think it was taped, and then it aired in like January 92 or something like that. Yeah. And so he raised his hand, looked at it, and then he turned around and then wham, just nailed him. And then I think Heenan was like, I knew he was going to do that. I think Heenan just kind of put the icing on the cake as far as that's concerned, and then threw him in the window. And it was, that heel turn was just incredible.
Well, you know what? You know what was? I even think that his later heel turn was. It wasn't as great of a scenario, but the whole
Hogan,
Brett. No, it was Shawn, Taker, and Brett is where Brett spits in Shawn's face. Shawn retaliates, but he misses Brett.
That was against Taker, wasn't it? Yep.
Yeah. So that was a good turn. Like I just like the way, it wasn't the barbershop, but it was a clever way to do it.
I like
And
the
then,
Shawn Hogan turn though. When Shawn and Hogan were teaming up, I think you were there at that time, and I
yep.
was around 95. I mean, 05, 06 time.
But I mean,
Um,
that one was just a straight super kick to Hogan, right? It
yeah,
was
but
just
the camera
surprising.
angle was amazing though. Like they were
Yeah.
celebrating, and they did a tag match, and then Hogan did the whole pose, and he turned around and whammed. It was incredible too. I thought it was
Well,
hilarious.
and it was cool because that was the last we ever got to see of a heel HBK, and that was going right into the program with me. And
Yeah.
it's still fun because I've seen that promo after SummerSlam, a number of times, obviously, because I'm involved in it, and
Mhm.
just the way he's kind of shooting on Hulk Hogan throughout the promo. And then even shooting with me, he calls me a greenhorn out there and stuff. It was just
Yeah.
I don't know, it was fun for that month. And then there was that Montreal promo. And I was there for that actually too. So I mean, I remember actually even being in the locker room for when Shawn and Hogan were going over the sharpshooter in that
Oh, nice.
go home episode before SummerSlam. And it was funny because they both got all the knee braces on. So it wasn't exactly as easy. You know what I mean? It wasn't exactly just a simple
Yeah.
sharpshooter. There was a lot of maneuvering to get into that. But
Yeah. Yeah. Really
yeah,
cool stuff.
man.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Chris Masters. I'm Dr. Chris Featherstone, and you just was a part of the Inside Scoop. So long.